Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Bahadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honor to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching His truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashim Shah, trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person or so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. I got some videos lined up about surveillance, AI, data centers, pretty much all this shit leading to the New World Order, and the RFID microchip implant. I don't have any videos related to that, but it is leading to that. But anyway, I'm going to play these videos. I'm going to get into the scripts my best ability, say whatever God say through the spirit and power, Yahweh Bashim Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Krahak, Badash, Lord, will it be on me? Let's get it.
The New York Times is considered America's most powerful newspaper. Its offices near Manhattan's Times Square projects that power for a media institution that often sets the political agenda and tells us what's important. And yet today, there is also fear and loathing inside New York Times newsrooms, where journalists increasingly feel threatened, even intimidated, by an administration that has prosecuted more whistleblowers, 8 in all, than any other in American history. In March 2014,
they show Obama face, now they need to show Trump face.
Times Conference Center hosted a forum to address the state of press freedom.
Or either Amalek's face.
Packed, it was like a media summit of major players there to resist the growing power of the surveillance state. Distributed at the event was this 2014 report on attacks on the press. The Committee to Protect Journalists charges that the NSA puts journalists under a cloud of suspicion.
I just let you know I ain't gonna play all this shit. It's just like all these other videos. And it's my first time watching, so I don't know what I'm expecting, but anyway, just rolling and flowing in the spirit.
We're at the New York Times Center in Manhattan for a conference on sources and secrets. Some of the top journalists in America are here to debate and discuss the growth of the surveillance state in America. Journalists feel threatened. Politicians now feel threatened. This seems to be an issue that's gone from the back pages to the front page. Ralph Engelman works with the Polk Awards, sponsoring a respected awards ceremony in an industry that is far more competitive than collaborative.
Confidentiality of sources is central to the work of journalists, investigative journalists in particular. And in addition to the use of the Espionage Act, what we've learned from the Snowden revelations about the NSA, how can you guarantee confidentiality?
Engelman sees this event not just as a get-together for reporters, but one with an important political mission.
I think there is something that has not been said directly that needs to be said, and that is that the sort of political context for this whole crisis in terms of journalism and surveillance and the use of the Espionage Act of 1917. If you go back to the original Act of 1917, it was passed in large measure to suppress anti-war sentiment against U.S. entry into the war, First World War. It's not simply a question of journalistic practice, but it's also a question of American foreign policy, the ability of journalists and the public to follow what's going on.
At issue today is the case of James Risen, a Times reporter who exposed warrantless wiretapping.
You know, so after we had reported on the story and nailed it down, we went to the government for comment. In fact, I went to Michael Hayden, who was then the director of the NSA, and got him on the phone and told him what we were writing. And before he realized what he was doing, he had given me an on-the-record comment. And then, very quickly after that, he and the Bush administration started putting pressure on my editors, demanding that we not run the story.
Former veteran CIA analyst Ray McGovern says that at first there was an effort to suppress Risen's story.
James Risen had this story in the summer of 2004. It was that Dick Cheney and George Bush had told General Hayden to collect everything and forget about this First Amendment at NSA, about not collecting on Americans by the court, or just collect everything, okay? Now, that was discovered in the summer of 2004, but the New York Times superiors of James Risen went to the White House and said, and the election is coming up, and so George Bush said, Don't. That's national security, terrorism, fear. National security, do not publish that story.
The Times initially sat on the report, but then Risen told his boss, publisher Arthur Sulzberger, that this story will be told in his new book. The Times publisher then told the White House...
Alright, anyway, I ain't gonna play no more of this. Well, you know, the title is American Surveillance State, and this was becoming, really the whole world is becoming a surveillance state. And this is what happens when the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. And there's gonna be a lot of pushback eventually. Shit, I don't know. There's very little pushback, but hey, the Lord is controlling this boat or this car or this big rig, or pretty much he's controlling this, making this story happen. It's only up for us to pray like heaven. The Lord give us the strength to endure and keep our faith and trust in Him. And Yahweh Shema Shah. But these people gonna be in a rude awakening when they all realize what just happened. Nobody didn't warn us of this. Yes, they have. For the two witnesses and the third one, that we all warned you. Next video.
Brothers, the time is...
Here's a story they didn't show you. So Ring has tens of millions of devices mounted on American homes right now. And right around the same time as that Super Bowl ad, they quietly rolled out 2 new AI features. The first was called Search Party. It activates cameras across your entire neighborhood and scans for whatever you're looking for. So missing dog, missing person, it doesn't matter. And they turned it on by default. The second is called Familiar Faces. It's facial recognition. It identifies and tags people who regularly appear on your cameras, even every neighbor walking by, every delivery driver, every kid on a bike. Face captured, categorized, attached to a behavioral pattern. What time they usually pass, who they associate with, which properties they approach. Both features are on by default on tens of millions of devices across America. And most people never change the defaults. And here's the thing though, you paid for the hardware. You're paying for the electricity bill, you're paying for the monthly subscription, and the data flows up to Amazon, to data brokers, to law enforcement, intelligence agencies, through deals that you never signed off on, and channels that nobody told.
Yo, it ain't just Ring, shit, all these motherfuckers. From Vivint and whatever, shit, all of them.
Told you about. Ring employees have already been caught accessing customer footage without authorization. The FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, fined Amazon $5.8 million for it. So Ring has partnered with hundreds of police departments, giving them direct access to your footage. Federal agencies piggyback on those local partnerships to get the exact same data. There's no warrant needed. I mean, why spend tens of billions of dollars building a surveillance grid when you can get your average American to install it themselves and pay for it themselves and then defend it as safety and convenience? You feel safer, they get the data. But Ring is just one piece of it. There's a small black oval on a pole near your neighborhood with little solar panels on top. There's no markings, no sign. You drive past it every single day. And it's watching you every single time. It's called a flock safety camera. And right now, there are over 80,000 of them across the United States, scanning vehicles billions of times every month. So Ring watches your front door, Flock watches your street, and they're connected. In late 2025, Amazon Ring formally announced a partnership with Flock Safety, integrating Ring's home cameras directly into Flock's law enforcement platform. After severe public backlash over privacy concerns, their partnership was officially canceled in February 2026. But here's what that tells you. The plan existed. The architecture was designed. The two systems were built to connect. They canceled the rollout, but they did not cancel the capability. Now, most people covering the story stop right around here. They throw some numbers at you and leave you feeling alarmed, but confused about how any of this actually happened. Now, I don't want to do that because I want to dig deeper, and I know you do too. Because this didn't start with Flock. It didn't start with Ring. It didn't even start with Snowden. It didn't start after 9/11. It started in 1956. And when you see how many times this machine has been exposed, reformed, and then quietly rebuilt, what feels new starts to look very, very familiar. This is the third episode of my America Hijacked series. It's an investigative history. We're digging through the archives. We're pulling March 8th, 1971. It's a fight night. Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier, the fight of the century. Every television in
bread and circus.
America's tuned in. And while the whole country is distracted, 8 ordinary people break into a small FBI office in Media, Pennsylvania. A cab driver, a daycare director, 2 professors, 4 others. They're just regular people. They open the filing cabinets. They start reading. And what they find changes everything. They find documents revealing that the FBI had been running a secret program since 1956. Now, this program was targeting hundreds of organizations and thousands of Americans, civil rights leaders, anti-war activists, journalists, feminist groups, college students. The program had a name. It was called COINTELPRO, Counterintelligence Program. And in the FBI's own internal language, the goal was to, and I'm quoting directly here, quote, expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize, end quote, anyone the Bureau considered a threat to the existing order, not to investigate, to neutralize. Think about that word. The methods were ugly. Forged letters designed to create paranoia between leaders, false stories planted in newspapers, informants pushed inside groups to encourage illegal acts, illegal break-ins the FBI called black bag jobs. This was not law enforcement doing its job. This was the government deliberately tearing people's lives apart, quietly, from the inside, with your tax dollars. And they ran this for 15 years in total secrecy. Nobody outside the FBI knew, not Congress, not the courts, not the president, nobody. So how did we find out? Those 8 ordinary people. They leaked what they found to journalists across the country, and for the first time, Americans saw what had been done to them in secret. But it wasn't because the government came clean. It was because these 8 people decided to open the filing cabinets and risk telling the truth. And this is so interesting because those 8 citizens kept their identities secret for over 40 years. The FBI spent years trying to figure out who they were. They never did. The burglars came forward in 2014 on their own terms, though, 43 years later. The FBI never caught them. The statute of limitations ran out 5 years after the burglary. They went back to their lives, drove carpool, wrote books, raised their kids, and they kept the secret for 43 years.
Alright, I'm gonna stop right there. If you wanna watch the rest of the video, they go to title, they go to channel. Say your doorbell surveillance. Yeah, we know everything else is surveillance. And that's one thing, you know, I was watching one brother video, he talking about lights out, you know, the scenarios of power going out. And I don't know, I was gonna say, well, when it comes to EMP, I don't know about that shit. But it's all up to Yahweh by Shema Shah. It just look like if they want to let a EMP go off, then when it if it disables all, well, I won't say all electronics, cause some be shielded, and I mean I don't know how will that shit work out. But destroying electronics and such that can spy on you, they need every bit of technology, cell phones, cameras, to daggone watch you, listen to you, all that other shit. But hey, man, all this is the will of the Lord, so we never know. Next video.
YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation.
With the American pig, that there are concepts where pieces could be given to the American public, where the American public essentially becomes a partner with the companies. And I will tell you, yeah, I have spoken to all of them. There's something very interesting about it, where it almost becomes a partnership with the American public. And we'll look into that. We are looking. I actually have a meeting scheduled in the very near future with, did you know that, with all of the companies. And we're talking about it, where the American people can benefit from the success of AI.
Yeah, Lee Sation getting an evangelist, for we're not ignorant of his devices. Matter of fact, another one too. I'm talking about an advantage. And ain't no advantage when you're dealing with Esau's this shit and AI. And I mean, you can make some money off of, you know, boosting up your, making artwork for your job and all that shit, but nigga, please. And that's what they trying to make it seem like AI be a lifesaver, it saves time, but it is also going to be used as a weapon against you. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 verse 10, never trust thy enemy, for his iron rusted soul is his wickedness. Yeah, I'm just going to stop right there.
And by doing that, they're going to like it better. All of them. All the big ones, yeah.
Matter of fact, might as well go and get this one. I'm going to read this one too. Psalm chapter 55 verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. And they're going to use this AI as a way of a tool of war, of destruction, of death. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawing swords. And the AI is going to be a sword. Yeah, because they can control missile launches, drones, they got guns, all kind of shit. Classify you as a terrorist, an AI hater, or AI extremist, AI or damn data center extremist, some tech, you know, all that shit.
They're all coming to the White
Yo, we need the Lord, man, bad. Yahweh by Shema Shah, we need.
House probably next week.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. A partnership with the American public. While everybody continues to be distracted by man-made created stories, these psyops that we see day in and day out, the left-right psyop that obviously most people are engulfed in, where they care about things that shouldn't even be discussed. things about gender, things about who could use what bathroom, really low-level thinking type of topics keep everybody trapped on a day-to-day basis from paying attention to what's really going on around them and what Donald Trump is doing, which is building out a technocracy here in the United States of America, which has been the plan all along. It is communism through technology, if you want a short summary of what it is. And you heard him right there. A partnership with the American public. Donald Trump is meeting with all of these big AI companies, which we all know are a branch of our government anyway, as I will tell you and have told you many times over, whether it's Meta, Facebook, whether it's Amazon, there's all connections, whether it's Tesla, all connections to the government themselves. This technology that they sell you is the technology that they would want to come to your door and make you and force you to have in your home. But the people would have rose up against it. They wouldn't have wanted phones 25 years ago where they knew that, hey, these phones, if they're these guys won't take your resources, but people we have to the government play cameras, whether it's an airport or a Walmart or a stoplight. This stuff is going to go into a data center with a timestamp, and they're going to have you monitored and tracked 24/7. Now they're going to do things to
I'm skipping stuff because, goodness gracious, I mean, we heard of it all, but I just want to see what else articles they got showing through this video. I ain't going to play all of it, but they go to the title of the video, they go to channel.
You that this is good, like tell you that this will prevent crimes, that there's true crimes going on every day, people are getting murdered, that we need more CCTV, which I've talked about over the years is one of the reasons there's so many true crime stories that they put out there. They glorify these crime shows because the hero at the end of the day is always the surveillance footage that is found that helps solve the crime because the incompetent police can't do it themselves, right? So what they're doing here is they're telling you that Bernie Sanders wants Americans to own a piece of the pie, own a piece of AI, because all everyone's hearing about is, well, the AI boom, right? People who are invested in AI are making lots of money, artificial intelligence, these big companies that are worth trillions of dollars. Well, the American people deserve some. So the American people hear that and they go, well, wait, we can make money off it? And they're going, yeah.
So wait a minute. I thought we were going to be making money off them terrorists. We going to win big. Yeah, we're going to win big off them terrorists. Shit. And he's saying we're going to win with the AI when you make money off of using AI. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, like I said, don't believe this serpent. His venom will fuck you up if he bites you.
What we'll do is we'll make sure that it's a partnership with you, and then you can benefit from how much money they make, right? Do you see where it's going here? This is to convince people that artificial intelligence isn't only good, that you can have a piece of it, that you can profit from it. Of course, this all leads to the technocracy I've talked about, as well as universal basic income and other horrors that surround these data centers. So focus on what these data centers are for, not the resources they're depleting, which of course is a problem, but the biggest problem is what they have planned for us with
a chip implant, the mark of the beast.
These data centers. So what the plan that's being proposed is Donald Trump is going to meet, supposedly with all these AI companies. This is a front to get you on board. This is just all it is, a ruse to get you on board with AI. They see the public feedback. Remember, they use the internet as surveillance to see how you respond. They see the pushback with the data center. So then they go and they meet at the Bilderberg meetings. They meet secretly underground while they're doing other disturbing acts. And what do they discuss? How can we convince them? What can we do to get them on board? You saw it with COVID, right? Nobody wanted the vaccine, right? Only half the population wanted it. The people who live in fear, who think vaccines work, they went and they got them. They've been up killing themselves, or most of which were still...
I'm going to stop right there. There's another video I want to get, if I can get it.
Us with...
Trying to get a hold of so I can move it. Let me see, what is this about? Sam Alton is freaking out. I don't know, what is this about? No, I ain't even gonna... I can't even move it anyway. Fuck it, I ain't gonna play it. Now I'm still gonna... if you want to watch the rest of the video, they go to the title of the video, they go to the channel. I'm still gonna move on with the next one.
For 125 years, the people of Firestone have been building products and services with one thing in mind.
What if I told you that an innocent black male incarcerated for months because he was misidentified?
First off, he's brown, just like you, bro. Anyway.
By AI. Put him up full mask. This is so...
Look, clearly he's brown. Shit. I'll tell him one, Jake. He wanted to see if I can trim. He got some bushes in front yard. He wanted me to trim, and I was telling him, you know, we ain't black. He was looking like, huh? Yeah, he looked dumbfounded, like, huh? And I was like, you know, your skin, you dark. He dark. He about to hit this dude's shade. My truck is black. You ain't that shade, bruh. So you know, they just pretty much told you a lie. told all of us a lot, and we fall underneath that spell and shit. But he seemed to not really care. Well, whatever. Anyway, let him go back to La La Land.
So shameful that this ever happened to this man. So horrible. According to WSOC TV News, Jaleel Richardson spent months in jail, incarcerated in Florida and North Carolina after being misidentified by artificial intelligence facial recognition technology for a vehicle theft he never committed. Charges against...
And that just keep building up more cases like this. Even in the UK. Shit, Esau, man, he's a fucking nigger. Esau's a goddamn devil. He does that shit on purpose. Yeah, he will do that shit on purpose. He will do that shit on purpose just to fuck with you Israelites.
Richardson were dropped last week following an ordeal.
Nigga need to get a haircut too. That shit, that hair way too fucking long. And then cut them damn dreads. They been looking like a fucking parasite nest. But anyway.
That has cost him his job.
Damn.
He lost his home.
Esau just no reimbursement. Shit.
And he lost custody of his 2
Should be a damn lawsuit.
children.
They just stripped the man of everything he had, bro. Everything. It shows you clearly, Micah chapter 2, verse 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction. Man, his life got ruined because of fucking AI. Facial recognition. And look how wrong it was. They try to say it has a 99%, no, it's a 99.9% success rate, or whatever you call it. Anyway, hell, what if this shit was set up going so far, be like that on the movie Mercy, where you're accused of something you didn't commit, and they're still off your ass. They done that shit many times with Jake. Falsely accused. You got some Jakes that did some shit. But you got some who haven't done shit to be put to death. Hell, you have some heathens that's like that. That happened to them. Most of the time they be guilty anyway. Most of them heathens. But shit, when it comes to Jake, hell, you're guilty automatically.
Full of rest.
Esau, this nigga here, the one who got the power to control AI. Shit, they gonna tinker and tweak and program whatever till they like it. To fuck with you Israelites. Seek the Lord and pray for mercy from your Lord, man. Repent. It's gonna get crazy when these niggas go full throttle, allowing AI to go on a fucking full-on assault on you Israelites.
Stemmed from an investigation by the Jacksonville...
Shit. AI probably confused, probably thought it was a woman because they had fucking long hair he had.
Sheriff's Office, an office
yeah, because that's confusion.
We have had to feature on Indisputable multiple times, unfortunately. So it stemmed from an investigation by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office into a stolen car that was purchased on April 2nd, 2025, where a deputy used AI to match a suspect from surveillance video and a fake Georgia identification to Richardson with 85% accuracy, leading to an arrest warrant for Richardson. I want to say this, the technology that they use, I'm talking about law enforcement, this AI technology.
What was the guy they were looking for?
Is a licensed technology, okay, for law enforcement purposes. But under the rules of the license, cops or investigators are not supposed to solely utilize this licensed technology for identification. And
but see, thing is, when it comes to law enforcement, what they motto is, a nigger's a nigger. If it's a nigger, we got one. We got him. Case closed. Time to lock him up. Throw away the key. Go on to the next one. To make more money to lock up. Anyway.
In other words, the detective or the officer or the investigator is supposed to still do their damn jobs. There's more.
Yeah, they just allow a machine to identify, and they say, okay, this the person. Okay, we go get him. And that's it. Nothing else.
According to court documents.
Damn, these motherfuckers, Esau's a lazy nigger.
A man in Jacksonville, Florida contacted law enforcement after he tried to register his new car, and he found out, well, that new car was stolen. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office recovered surveillance video from the parking lot where he bought the vehicle. The man who bought the vehicle also told a deputy the suspect gave him a fake Georgia identification. The man who initially called the sheriff's office also picked Richardson out of a lineup. This led to the issuance of an arrest warrant. Richardson was later arrested at his home in Charlotte, North Carolina. He stated he was held in the Mecklenburg County Jail for 1 month. He was then extradited to Florida, where he was held for almost 2 months. Quote, I sat in there for over 50 days in the most worst jail ever, he explained. Richardson described his experience as traumatizing. Quote, it's very traumatizing and unbelievable. I lost everything, Richardson said. Now, I'm going to get into what the attorney said and some of the red flags that should have existed for the investigators. When it says he was identified in the lineup, they're likely talking about a picture lineup rather than an in-person lineup because he wasn't in the state. The attorney, Richardson's attorney showed timesheets, okay? Timesheets proving that he was actually at work 400 miles away from Florida.
Wow. No investigations.
When the stolen car was sold. That's called an alibi. Richardson.
But to these devils, they like, that's not good enough. That's what they say. That's not good enough.
Said he had.
Yeah, it's not good. He could have like came into work and clocked in and snuck on out, and then he went 400 miles to steal a car and do his thing and blah blah blah. And I'm like, right.
Has actually never been.
Fucking did all that in one damn day.
To the state of Florida. And his attorney tried to present this evidence for months. Prosecutors dropped the case last week, a full year after the initial investigation into the stolen car started. While he was incarcerated, Mr. Richardson lost his job, he lost his home. He also said he lost custody of 2 of his children. Richardson is struggling to find a new job.
Well, goddamn. Well, was his wife? Was he married? Did the woman took the kids? What a bitch. Anyway, or lost custody, or I guess they wouldn't foster home. I don't know. Anyway.
Because his mugshot is still posted online, despite the charges being dropped, and despite the fact that he's completely innocent, never did anything wrong, and never entered the state of Florida.
Clearly, this is not your risk, Jake, and all you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and speckled birds. They show you that this place sucks.
There's more. The infamous Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters responded. Now, we've covered this sheriff multiple times.
Now he's had to say something about it.
Times for his deputies being brutal to citizens.
See, I'm thinking it's Esau. It's just Jake as a sheriff.
Citizens responded to a request for comment on their use of facial recognition technology. The office stated, quote, facial recognition technology is used as one tool among many available to investigators. In this case, it was not one tool, but certainly, in this case, it was one tool, but certainly not the only tool, which led to the probable cause determination that Mr. Richardson was the perpetrator of these crimes. Now, keep this picture up. The reason why his office is saying this is because it protects their license. So they have now utilized the proper wording in order to protect the license of use of AI. This has nothing to do with him being apologetic, understanding that definitely something went wrong.
Yeah, that whatever comment that he said, they probably didn't say it. It was AI that probably produced whatever, you know. But anyway, man, shit. And I mean, still, Esau's a piece of shit, and this guy's a piece of shit too. Next video.
Where is he? 10 seconds before the whistle, and you think this is a good time to
AI. Artificial intelligence. This is like a crazy amount of power for one piece of technology, and it's happened to us so fast.
Everything that moves will be robotic someday, and it will be soon.
My view isn't that AI is bad. My view is that you need to steer AI in the right direction.
I think AI is one of the biggest threats.
Has artificial intelligence really surpassed the capability of the human brain? Because this 3-pound organ is still one of the most incredible pieces of hardware on the planet. It runs on about as much power as a dim light bulb, learns from a single experience, feels emotions, creates art, and can adapt on the fly to situations it's never seen before. Meanwhile, AI is crushing calculations, writing essays, diagnosing images, and beating us at games we invented. But does that actually mean it's really smarter? Well, today we're going to do a full head-to-head comparison, starting with a real human brain and breaking down how this thing actually works at the cellular level, then contrasting it with how today's AI systems think. We'll look at where AI is legitimately pulling ahead, where the human brain is still light years beyond anything silicon can do, and what this could mean for our future. It's going to be a biotechy one. So let's do this. So let's get right into this beautiful structure. Here you're looking at the right half of a real human brain. Notice the folds as well as the grooves. The folds are called gyri and the grooves are called sulci. And they're not just to make the brain look really cool, they dramatically increase the surface area so that the brain can pack in more neurons and create more connections. And if we talk numbers, there are roughly 86 billion neurons found in the brain. And each neuron can make thousands of connections with other neurons, which means the human brain makes hundreds of trillions of these connections called synapses. To put that into perspective, even the largest artificial intelligence systems today, the biggest AI models out there, only have somewhere in the range of 1 to 2 trillion parameters, which are basically the AI version of our synaptic connections. But remember, it's not exactly the same. Our synapses are dynamic and constantly rewiring themselves based on experience, while AI parameters are mostly fixed once the model is trained. Still,
I ain't gonna play too much of this shit either. But yeah, let me get out of here. I ain't gonna play too much of this video. But it says your brain uses 20 watts, pretty much 20 watts of electricity or whatever. But AI needs entire data centers, so they need to use 5 times more than what a major city uses electricity. A major city use just to be in operation. And that shows you Yahweh Shema Shah is the mightiest of the mighty. And Esau want to copy Yahweh Shema Shah by making artificial intelligence. Look at how much it costs to keep artificial intelligence running. Even using up all the fucking water. Goodness gracious. What a dumbass. Ain't no wisdom in teaming though. Shit. I mean, you could just leave that shit alone. And use your fucking brain. But they don't want to. They want to have a computer now. You know, whatever. Anyway, let me get this video too. I'm gonna play this, but I ain't gonna play too much of it. Shit, talking about they want to start using actual human brains inside of AI data centers.
Find all 3 spoons inside specially marked Kellogg's cereal boxes and see.
You are not going to believe what this startup company is looking to do. All right, guys, so this is pretty unbelievable, and this is almost, I would say, 60 to 100 years jump into the future. But nonetheless, a startup company out of Australia called Cortical Lab wants to start something called, and get this, wet.
Man, now he's saying it's like 100 to something years ahead. Oh no. I forgot how he said it. It's like this is something that's gonna be 100 years, yeah, in the future. Nigga, they doing that shit now, nigga. They search out. Let me get to that. Heart is deep. Dude, they doing all kinds of shit. If they talking about doing something, they already done it or been working on it 5, 10, 20 years ago. Maybe longer than that. Shit, this is Esau. And then plus these monkey ass heathens. They been trying to Moab, Ammon, been trying to suck up, trying to use, just like they try to take consciousness out of or people's memories out of their brain and put it inside of a chip and shit. All this dumb shit. Anyway, now they want to use a human brain to run their data centers. Anyway, Psalm chapter 64 verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares. Previously they say, who shall see them? They search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. Yeah, they try so hard. They are trying to accomplish the unaccomplishable shit. Something that's only Yahweh and Yahweh Shah is able to do and capable of doing. And they want to try to achieve that. The Lord is allowing them to achieve something, but shit, I don't know how far the Lord is allowing them to achieve, but they trying. But whatever, it's some bunch of shit. So it's like, yeah, shit.
Now, what wetware is using, as they put it, human brain to run data centers. They want their data centers to be built with human brains. Now, I don't know how big that data center is going to be, nor do I know how big that brain is going to be. But nonetheless, guys, this is a problem. First of all, the fact that they got a term called wetware, right, instead of hardware, software, wetware pertaining to, I guess, the wet brain or just the moist of a biological material inside a data center is insane. And so this lab is, again, startup, and there must be, I mean, the amount of stuff that's coming out in regards to data centers and the fact that they're building these ginormous data centers throughout the world, we are only focused on the ones here in the United States. But this company out in Australia is looking to start this. Now, I can see Australia shutting this down, but then this company taking their, experiment somewhere else and starting it there. Now, this brain hasn't gone into detail whether they're going to 3D print it or if they're going to use a legitimate brain from a human, subject, right? Take this out of the human body and then see if they can function. Now, they have to have some kind of science behind it for them to even start a startup like that and have people actually invest in it. That's the worst part about it. People are like, this sounds interesting. Let me put money into this. Listen, the way the rich throw their money around is insane. But even if I was rich, I don't see that working out, nor would I want it to work out. Because even if it's true,
they trying to. I'm pretty sure they. Yeah.
Even if they can get it to work, this means, guys, that this brain is working at a, super AI capacity. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to work. But the warning behind this all, guys, is that this can get bad. This can catch on. These brains, if unchecked, can again be the god of AI, right? This could probably surpass super AI, probably. Now, this is, again, it's not alarming,
Or they could be trying to make an artificial brain, like, what was it, China? Yeah, they were using like an artificial brain, the power of some little robot. I don't know, but whatever. It's these niggas are, oh my goodness, these niggas are fucking retarded. These heathens, bro.
I said that earlier, it's not alarming, but this could be a problem. Like, again, using human brains. Now, I don't understand why you would, because you have to keep that material, the brain, alive, right? You have to keep it viable. So why would you use that versus just using a computer? Either way, this is probably going to lead to the integration of human and computers. Because if they can do that, if this data center can sustain this brain for long term or forever, then they can do this with the human body. This potentially poses a problem. And the problem with trying to keep people alive forever is overcrowding. According to, every elite out there, we are already overcrowded as is. And so now we're trying to keep people alive longer. Now, the only people who are actively trying to keep themselves alive longer and or forever are the rich. Those are the people who have the God complex of wanting to live forever. That's a different story. But the fact, guys, that they're looking to come up with an AI data center that, again, runs on a human brain, this can go in a million places. Hell, they can do what they did in that movie RoboCop 2. Remember where they took the human brain and put it inside RoboCop 2, and then, or Kane's brain, inside of the robot, and then it went haywire? You could run into something like that. Or you could just run into the problem of the brain decaying faster because it's in an environment that it's not supposed to be in, right? So the brain is supposed to be in like a lights out area. The skull, right? So these movies where you see the brain on the outside, if I'm not mistaken, the brain is not supposed to function.
Alright, anyway. You want to watch the rest of it, they're going to tie they're going to channel.
So there was a Planning and Infrastructure Act that passed in December 2025. It meant if your area is designated as nationally significant infrastructure, data centre, a pipeline, an energy facility could be built near you and they don't have to tell you. Now, I went digging for who's lobbying for it. I have got a lot of tabs open. Came across this contract, £59 million, to a company called Version 1 Solutions. So this contract is from HM Land Registry, the place that holds all the records of who owns your house, every boundary, every mortgage, all of it. So what they're building right now is a fully digital AI map. Every piece of land in England and Wales, who owns it, where the boundaries are, what the planning constraints are. So Version 1 Solutions, they're a formal partner of IBM. The same company that got the £160 million contract for the NHS app. And we know they're a formal partner of Oracle. And we know Oracle have got a strategic partnership with Palantir. So I need to make this very clear. I'm not saying I've found a contract with Palantir and the HM Land Registry. I'm saying that the company awarded the contract to build the AI map is connected through its published partnerships. So the law that brought this in, the Planning and Infrastructure Act, it was brought in under something called the Nationally Significant Infrastructure Project regime. So before that law had even passed, you might not know, but Angela Rayner, she personally overrode 3 separate council decisions to approve data centres on Greenbelt lands. The land had been rejected twice by the local communities. Government did later concede one of those decisions as unlawful. The law basically passed anyway. So I literally had 2 things in front of me. A law that's removed your right to be told what's being built, and then this contract, an AI map of all the land. So So I'm like, who's been at that table? So I went onto the ministerial transparency registers. By the way, these are published by law every quarter because the law was written by the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government. So I was looking for companies that build data centres on land, investment funds that finance energy infrastructure, the tech giants. Not one meeting, I couldn't find it. So then I was thinking, well, where else could it be? Ed Miliband's department. So I covered the same period. So the 8th of April, we had the AI Energy Council, Google, Microsoft, Amazon and Brookfield, one of the world's biggest infrastructure investors. The purpose of the meeting was AI-related energy demand. I mean, there was a couple more. There was one on the 21st of October where he meets some of the largest infrastructure investment funds on the planet. And then on the 4th of November, Michael Shanks, Minister of State for Energy, meets the gas network investors. And then I found this entry for the 2nd of December. So we've got Michael Shanks, Minister of State for Energy, Rothschild's Roundtable. Now we know they're one of the most oldest and most powerful investment banks. So the purpose of the meeting, in their own words, was to allow leaders from the UK and European infrastructure investment community direct dialogue with government on the future of energy infrastructure and the clarity needed to unlock capital. 16 days later, the Planning and Infrastructure Act received royal assent. Now I'm not telling you what to think, I'm just telling you what I found on the government's own website, published in their own words.
Those are your live games.
AI is making life more expensive. Living in this artificial intelligence fever dream is costing you and I more than we realize. It was supposed to make life easy, wasn't it? And it did in all.
And you know what? Trump said he's supposed to be making money from this shit. It don't seem like it. Just like them terrorists said, we'll be winning with them terrorists, making a lot of money off of it. But don't look like it.
Lot of ways. However, beyond writing your emails and planning your travel itinerary,
Motherfucker gonna be losing big time when they go full on with this AI shit, surveillance, and when they implement that chip implant. Yes, sir. And when you seek the Lord, man, and you don't be like no Antoine Daniels, that dumbass nigga. I'm gonna adapt into AI and be a cyborg until the missiles come and shit. Lord nuke the shit out that nigga. Don't be like that fucker.
it seems the major thing it seems to have optimized is the speed at which money leaves your bank account. While tech executives keep promising an AI-powered utopia sometime around the year 2050, people are currently experiencing something much more tangible: AI inflation. So let me tell you the 3 ways in which AI is making your life more expensive. Number 1, your gadgets. They cost more because AI is eating all the chips that power these gadgets. Imagine that.
Yes, GPU, video cards, shit used to be $500 for a basic, I don't know, for what is it, like a couple years back. And then shit, now that motherfucker like at least 1,000. Heck yeah.
You're trying to buy coffee. Now imagine 6 billionaires show up and buy every coffee bean in sight because they're building a giant AI coffee machine. That is basically what is happening with computer chips. AI data centers are absorbing chips, advanced processors at a scale never seen before. Elon Musk and other executives have spoken about this. This AI-driven cost spike and chip shortage. So as a result, laptops cost more, phones cost more, gaming consoles cost more, cars cost more.
Basically, you got a fucking video card that costs about just as much as a damn gaming PC. Shit, yeah, that shit is ridiculous. I'm looking at this shit right now. $4,000. Something like this will run about at least $2,000. At least 2,000, maybe one. Well, it would be about 2,000. Here's one. This probably a used one, or either they bitten that shit. Well, no. They said 1,000, but it's actually, well, I don't know. What the fuck? Oh yeah, B&H, you know, them small hat company. But they all pretty much damn near. Well, I won't say they all. But I had bought a laptop. Not really quite the same performance, but I know that motherfucker costs probably more now than what it was before. I mean, when I had bought it, I know it's more expensive. Goodness gracious, bro. And don't get me started with damn. Yeah, let me see. SSD. I'm typing it wrong. It's memory. Or not memory, with storage and shit. Oh my goodness, almost $300 for that shit. Oh, that's pretty fast. This motherfucker almost. What the fuck? Best Buy, what the hell? You need to smoking crack rock. What is this then? It's a storage. Yeah, it's an external. Yeah, it's an external or either internal. It's an internal. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, this son bitch called that. What is up with this damn SSD? It ain't nothing. It's just basic. It's like a basic. I know they fucked this up. $1,000. I know they fucked that up. No, that's not. No. Yeah, they fucked that up. And here's one that's $700. I'm like, I know that shit ain't real. Anyway, let me get out of here. Shit. Damn, that mother. Oh yeah, what is this? Best Buy? God damn, $360. I paid about one of these things a couple years ago. One of these models, a SanDisk or whatever you call it, a couple years ago for like a half the price, $100, less than $200. Now that shit is almost $400. This one's $600 at Staples. Boy, these $800 at the official website. Oh, this is 4 terabits. Still $800. It used to be $400 for this. Yep. Now it ain't anymore. That's some goddamn shit. Back to the video.
Anything with a circuit board is now a luxury. Nintendo recently increased prices on its Switch 2.
They still increasing price on this garbage.
While citing rising component costs.
And then shit, they trying to make money off of everything of course they're gonna sell, or anything they selling they gotta make money off of, or anything they make. I don't know, man. They just gotta make money on everything. Anytime you press on one button, it's gonna cost you money.
The situation has become so absurd that companies.
It's like you gotta make payment on making just using the damn thing.
Companies making ordinary consumer electronics are competing against firms trying to create these digital gods. And unsurprisingly, digital gods have larger budgets. On to number 2. Guess what? Your electricity bill is helping power the AI revolution. Remember when your parents yelled at you for leaving the light on in your room? Turns out the real electricity problem wasn't your bedroom lamp. It was the warehouse-sized buildings filled with hundreds of thousands of AI chips generating enough heat to recreate the surface conditions of Mercury. Data centers require astonishing amounts of electricity. As more AI facilities come online, utilities need more generation, more transmission lines, and more grid upgrades, more backup capacity. And guess who pays for that? You. In regions seeing heavy data center expansion, utility regulators and consumer advocates have increasingly pointed to AI-related demand as one factor pushing electricity costs upward. So every month, millions of people open their electric bills and unknowingly...
Hey, crazy. You paying for your own slavery, bro. Because they're going to be using this AI shit to collect your data and use it against you. You know, all that shit. And you paying for it. Fuck this shit.
Contribute to helping a head of state generate an AI image portraying themselves as playing God. A service humanity apparently cannot live without. Number 3, subscriptions. When was it exactly that software companies found the world's greatest excuse to raise prices? I'm not sure. What I do know for sure is this. Software subscriptions costs have been ridiculous for a while now. You used to buy software once, now you rent it forever. And then AI arrived. So now you pay more for the AI version. And here I thought getting...
it's like, what is it, Microsoft Copilot?
Truffle oil on my fries and getting charged double was a scam. Need accounting software? AI. Need photo editing? AI. Need language learning? AI. Need a to-do list app? Apparently also AI. Many software companies have added AI features while increasing subscription prices, often presenting the higher cost as a premium productivity upgrade. And to be fair, some AI tools genuinely do save time. But many consumers are now paying extra for features they never asked for, don't use. Occasionally, they also spend an unreasonable amount of time trying to disable. The funniest twist is that AI companies are suffering the exact same problem. They are paying more for chips, construction, electricity, specialized workers, land. In other words, AI companies are driving up costs by buying everything, then discovering everything is expensive because they are buying everything. The promise of AI is that one day it may make everyone dramatically more productive and eventually lower costs. The reality today is much simpler. Before AI can save you money, it would first like to charge you for a gaming console, your electricity bill, your software subscription, and possibly your next computer. The future is here, and it comes with surge pricing and a subscription model.
Big shift. Yep. And it's all because of these niggas.
Oh, this.
Look. Amalek.
And if you're aware of this AJC event, which is the American Jewish Coalition, Jen, help me out on this one because Lord knows how many NGOs there are at this point. But listen very carefully to what Dr. Maya Ackerman has to say regarding AI, regarding these data centers, and why they're so important to the Zionist cause here in the United States.
You see genuine opportunity. How can AI help improve Jewish representation in all these issues?
The really cool thing about AI is that while it can become a great ally for our enemies, if we act early, it can be exactly the opportunity that we need. After missing the boat with social media.
And they say enemies. Oh yeah, the people that's pushing out the truth. Oh, who's out there pushing the truth out the most? You know, the two witnesses and the third. But most importantly, them two witnesses, the Israelites, Judah and Ephraim, and all the rest of the other tribes, but pretty much Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, they're the prophets of the Yahweh Shema Shah. They're the threat. They're the biggest threat to these people's establishment.
AI
and you got some truthers and such, but anyway.
Is now becoming the dominant source of information. The main source of information. People trust AI more than anything else.
But not the Lord? But not the Lord? Shit. That's the problem. You're putting trust in AI, and AI lying to a lot of people, having them on to commit suicide, killing themselves, or commit a crime.
To you, sister. Most people do not trust AI. Most people know what this is all about. Is there some benefit potentially to artificial intelligence when it comes to doing things faster? On the periphery, perhaps. But is it worth it in the grand scheme? Not at all. I mean, the one thing we can say with certainty is that if you had any doubt about what AI is being used for, what these data centers are being used for, they're being used to spy on us, to make sure that we are good servants of capital at all times.
Especially when you got the chip implant side.
And the bigger this gets, the wider it gets, the more they're going to try to put us under their control. Again, the primary reason why our country has not succumbed to the efforts of the Zionist cause is because our nation is armed. It's not armed everywhere, but it's armed in most places. And most of them are ready for that fight. At least it appears that they are now.
Trust AI more than social media. They turn to chatbots like ChatGPT and Gemini instead of using Google, and young people use these bots instead of Google in very, very, very large numbers. So this is becoming the main source of information, okay? And so when I say this, I still find Jewish people being discouraged. They say, oh, but Wikipedia is already so anti-Semitic, and social media is so anti-Semitic. Why?
What she's really saying is that social media is being way too noticing of our misdeeds. So we have to figure out a way to silence those who are exposing our misdeeds and correct the record.
Why bother? The AI just learns from all of this data. So, you know, whatever. Not much.
So then pretty much it's coming down to the famine of the word. And there's going to be a time when it's time to be a season, and to season be silent. Right now we can speak, but soon these devils going to come with that wrath. And you can't speak out, call out they shit. Anyway.
We can do, but that's not true. Because over the past 2 years, the AI companies have been moving towards alignment. So instead of the algorithms sort of honestly representing what's in the data, we're finding that these chatbots and the text-to-image models are increasingly showing us exactly what the companies want us to see. Okay? So it's becoming intentional, which means that instead of trying to control the whole world and trying to somehow manage what's happening in this big blob of Wikipedia and social media. We can go directly to the companies with clear technical and advocacy solutions.
In other words, do what we say and nobody gets hurt. Am I right, Maya Ackerman? I would think so.
For the first time, there's a path to correcting the digital world.
Thank you, Maya. Yeah.
See that? Next video.
Omaira Garcia, or OG as she likes to be called, lives right next door to Stargate. We launched the thermal drone from her property to get a look at what's really going on.
My husband and I both served in the military. What initially brought us to Abilene was his military service. After being here for a couple years, we really just kind of fell in love with it. It took us a year to find this property. Just the views, the horizon, the sunrise, the sunset. It was just our own little piece of happiness. In 2025, Stargate started to break ground on the property. And all of a sudden, life changed. We had no idea what they were building there. And when they get there, there's just dust flying everywhere. We started taking a poll to see how often we have to change our filters. And it's every 2 weeks because they're completely filthy and full. I didn't know about their expansion plan and what that looks like for our home. If we're already dealing with the noise difficulty with only 10 turbines that they have right now, I can only imagine how much more difficult it's going to be like. I feel trapped. You know, we invest in our home, we serve our country, and we weren't even included in this process. We weren't given any time to understand what this impact was going to be on us. The long-term ramifications, we weren't given time to try to leave. So how do I feel? Upset.
All right, so how big of a problem are we talking here? They say they're going to add another 41 turbines to OpenAI's Stargate data center. So that's going to bring the total to 51 turbines for this data center. So let's see how loud this noise will be. It's about 75 decibels. So if we go to say, how loud is 75 decibels? Moderately loud, but what's moderately loud? A food processor or hairdresser. So basically these people are going to have to deal with a food processor noise being blasted into their homes at all times. Awesome.
Yup. This ain't your rest, Jake. Eve. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. And you see Eve, guys, she's shedding a tear because when she thought she was gonna be resting in a quiet, peaceful part of territory, land, with space and such, with all her puppies and the little pissy dogs and shit. Now they got to deal with all the pollution and all the goddamn dust and all the damn sound, noise, and the increase of heat, and probably the lack of water because they're going to suck up all the residential water. Yep. Last video.
How it feels to chew 5 gum. Stimulate your senses.
This summer, watch the greatest stories. I believe in you. The biggest action.
People are really starting to describe everyday life here in America as dystopian. That is a term that used to be for science fiction movies or novels, but now it's a term that people are using to describe what they feel is going on in this country.
Yeah. There's this truck coming here. Hold on. I'm gonna show you a video. It's a truck that drives by itself with three trailers. Yeah, but this truck coming in where I'm leaving, he's coming in right now.
All right, I gotta come on here and vent real quick. My wife got a new car through her work. It's a brand new, it's got no miles on it. Brand new 2025 or 2026, I imagine. Subaru Outback. And it's got the feature where it says, or it's the eyesight thing. So it's got a camera on the dash. If you veer off for 2 seconds, like if you look away like this, or if you're looking outside, I got mountains around us, right? So I'm looking at the mountains. It'll flash and beep and say, keep eyes on road. Change my music on Spotify for 2 seconds. And it's flashing saying, keep eyes on road. I get the idea of it, but this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in a car.
That little black notch right there at the top of your iPhone, guess what? It is not a camera. It is a full biometric mapping system. It's called the True Depth Camera System, and it projects over 30...
Well, it is a camera, then. What are you talking about? Unless I'm hearing what she said right. Let me see. It is not a camera. Well, it is a camera. Shit. And it got a lot of features.
It is a full biometric mapping system. It's called the True Depth Camera System, and it projects over 30,000 infrared invisible dots onto your face, building a precise 3D model in real time.
Yeah, you got that same shit on your phone, too. Everybody's phone. Shit.
Your face shape, but your movement, your muscle movement, your eye tracking.
Yeah, the phone you filming right now is that same shit. So I'm like,
expressions. That is how Face ID recognizes you instantly. However, here's something interesting you may not know. That same data can be used to detect emotion, focus, fatigue, stress, engagement.
Yeah, and your phone can do that too. It's doing that right now while you're filming this later. Simpleton.
Apple says that it stays on your device and they say it's encrypted. But let's, look out at the bigger picture for a second. Apple Inc. has filed patents around gaze tracking and attention detection. Ford Motor Company has patents for monitoring driver behavior and emotional state. Advertising platforms already optimize based on how long you look at something. Like there are no, if you stop, if you scroll, if you, change pages. So now let's connect all of those dots. A device that knows exactly where you're looking and how long you look and how your face reacts. This is crazy, and it's behavioral data at a level that we have never had before, and it goes way beyond security. But I kind of think the most important question isn't like what they're doing with it right now. It's what is going to happen with it when the policy changes. Because policies definitely change overnight once the innocent infrastructure is built and the hardware is already just in our hands and we are used to it. I don't believe this is about just unlocking our phones. I believe it's...
Oh, she is talking about... I thought she was talking about some cameras in your damn car and shit. I thought these folks were still talking about this shit. But anyway... Well, yeah, she talking about a phone. Yeah, anyway.
About training people to normalize being scanned.
Yeah, I won't call it simpleton. I said that earlier.
Mapped and read.
My bad.
All day, every day. So that when we're finally in like the Minority Report phase of this Orwellian control, all of these conveniences will definitely be weaponized against us.
I really do think the continued push by billionaires to develop AI data centers at the complete outrage and resistance from the locals that would be impacted by said data centers is an indication that we are past pretending that we live in a democracy. We are fully in a plutocracy. I've been following really closely what's happening in Box Elder County, Utah, where Canadian billionaire Kevin O'Leary is trying to build the world's largest data center, a $100 billion project, okay? This would be the largest data center in the world at over 40,000 acres, and at full capacity, the data center, which is called the Stratos project, is set to use 9 gigawatts of electricity. More than double the entire amount of electricity used by Utah as a whole. Robert Davies, a physics professor from Utah State University, says that he actually thinks the project will require an additional 7 to 8 gigawatts of waste heat energy, meaning that the project in total will be 23 gigawatts of total thermal load energy, which is the equivalent of dropping 23 atom bombs in Utah every single day. Also, let's do a little climate change perspective. Since the turn of the 20th century, it is estimated that Utah's overall temperature has increased by 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? Now, Davies estimates that this project would increase Utah's daily temperature by 5 degrees and Utah's night temperature by 28 degrees. Right now, 90% of Utah is in a drought. Do you know what happens when you take one of the driest states in the nation that is already having 53% of the lake bed of Salt Lake exposed, and you crank up the temperature even more? I feel like you can probably assume what happens. Now here's the decline of democracy part. Last week, Box Elder County officials held a meeting where they were going to vote on whether or not to approve this project, and hundreds of residents came to protest and to express their outrage. The commissioners did not allow public comment.
Only to be told commissioners weren't taking comments.
Why won't they let people talk? Why won't they let us ask questions?
They did not allow public comment from something that is set to completely destroy the environment in which these people live and pay their tax dollars. And then the county commissioners threatened to call the cops on these people.
I have law enforcement here who will remove you from the meeting.
And then they moved it to a virtual meeting so that there couldn't even be any public participation, where they unanimously approved the project.
Fed up with the resident uprising, the commissioners left the room to conduct...
But meanwhile, black people are the worst thing ever. Yeah, people, black fatigue. Yeah, that's but Esau, the so-called white man, Amalek, the baby dick sucking Jewish faggot nigga, these niggas want to goddamn spy on you, put data centers in your backyard. Shit, they want to put, and in the front yard, the side of your yard, they want to put a data center on top of your ass and underneath you, underground. Oh yeah, underground data centers, yeah. that's that's been talked about. They probably already got them bitches. We just don't know about it. And what else? I mean, and then plus, let's just sum it up. They want a chip inside your ass. I'm gonna end this video because man, I got a little bit of a headache. It been so goddamn hot outside, bro. And I was angry too. So, and I'm trying to cool myself down, being so angry, but then it's so damn hot, boy. Your brain start to fry. I was covered up, but shit, it wasn't enough. I gotta go back out in that heat again, but just be riding on a riding mower for about I don't know how long, about 3 or 4 hours maybe. Heck yeah, I gotta cut about 3 acres. Yep, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna get a tan too while I'm out there. But anyway, man, that's all I got. Let me go ahead and read this, cause yeah, the Lord's gonna allow these devils to get to where they're trying to accomplish, but the Lord's gonna stop these devils from accomplishing once they almost there. Job chapter 20 verse 21, when he is about to fill his belly, talking about Esau, so-called white man, but he ain't white, he's red, he's a baby dick sucking Jewish fag nigger, Amalek. God Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So while Esau's eating, he's almost full. You about to smack his belly and shit. He like, oh man, I think I'm coming down with the itis. He like, he about to pass out, go to sleep. But then Yahweh Shema Shah gonna gut check this nigga and make him pretty much bust his bubble, his New World Order bubble. I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna say the shit is coming to an end for Esau pretty soon. He shall flee from the iron weapon. Oh yeah, and this is coming from the destruction, the nuclear destruction, especially here in America. For the nuclear weapon, what was it called? The iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Yeah, the Lord's gonna nuke his ass. Yep, and other places too, especially over there in Israel. He got a Yahweh Shema Shah got to call pest control on those gutter rats and those roaches over there in our land. So and they're the reason why all this data center shit is going on. Yeah, all this AI shit and getting you people microchipped. They're the main reason why. Esau, Amalek. Anyway, man, stay prayed up and seek the Lord by seeking his prophets and take heed what to say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting in Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing the truth and nothing but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and your trust strong in Yahweh Shema Shah, and stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust strong in Yahweh Shema Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order in Yahweh Shema Shah. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.